Why hello there, fellow fighter pilots. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Ostranauts, Fire in the Hold. Episode 38, a victory lap as we return to base. And at the moment, because I was starting from basically a stationary position, this other ship is still approaching me. Ooh, that was a near miss. So, they don't have any more range than I have, right? This is like a coil gun. You can fire your coil guns without aiming with target lock, which is exactly what they're doing. So they're just like blind firing me. It's just very close. They're very accurate. I don't know what Awesome's thinking. One of the other issues that I have in this game is like the other pilots aren't logical. Welcome, Manlish, to a very spicy moment of this year's stream. How is playing Colony 37? Tell me about it. And to your viewers, I'm in like a space dogfight right now, being hunted by two hunters for another faction. After I just took out two pirate ships, and they're launching mass drivers at me like crazy, like it's going out of style. They pissed. They're real pissed. Ah, okay. I got it. He had a raid and run. I fully understand. Oh, God, that one was close. Now, I think the asteroid here is, like, obscuring their direct contact with me. So they can't actually see me at the moment. And I am going to try to escape them going, let's call it south and around. I'm going to do like a scoop like this, if possible. I don't have a ton of nitrogen gas for my thrusters, but I have a ton of reactant for my fusion reactor. And it doesn't look to me like they are actively pursuing. Their ETA is not approaching me anymore, so I'm actually going to, surprisingly, turn my safety engaged on and cut a lot of my thrust. Relative to the asteroids around me, I'm moving at 6 kilometers a second, which is like hella fast. I don't know what Awesome's doing. Awesome looks like an idiot right now. What about you? You are also an idiot. The two other Galfed ships in this area like seem like very stupid to me because they are hanging out in a conflict zone with like without guns to back up their bravado. I don't get it. I don't get what they're doing right now. But yeah, these other two obviously want me dead. Now G48D, the ship is gone is the name of the ship. Is I think probably patrolling the area. Whereas this ship, the guilty by reason of insanity, is like actively hunting me. Now, if I can separate them, there's nothing stopping me from going about face and blowing up the 5BQK that is currently chasing me, because I can outgun it, I think. I could probably beat it in a firefight. Yeah, crew 6. Yeah, that's fine. I don't have a lot of bullets, but I could disable their ship at the very least. I think what I'm going to do now, because at the moment I would like more bullets and the like, is I'm going to start adjusting my intercept course for Ceres base again. Because, you know, I want to go back to sell my bounty, as you can see above my head. And let's take thruster. I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait until I pass these two asteroids and then start thrusting up towards Calico Base. I just didn't want to thrust too hard right now and adjust my course to crash. So what we're trying to do is kill all the cross velocity so that I can head back to Calico. I'm a little worried about hitting these things though. Here, let's kill it now so I can thread between it and then continue to thrust once I'm past. There we go. Okay, I'm going to thread again. because I'll just be below that. But it looks like this is... my cross velocity of this thing is not too bad. Doesn't look like I'm going to collide if I don't thrust up at the moment. What about here? Yeah, this is... I mean, I'm in a super dense asteroid belt right now, so it's, like, massively sketchy. So after I pass this one, I can start thrusting upwards more freely. What I'm trying to do is not course correct my way into a crash. Because I'm moving at, like, 5 kilometers a second, so it's like... I wouldn't feel it, but, like, that's not how I want to die. Now, the circle is like your engagement range for these asteroids, but they're not, it's not the collision circle. The asteroid itself is much smaller than that. So you can pass through those brown circles, and as long as you don't hit the center of the brown circle, you're generally kind of fine. I mean, yeah, you should have brown pants to match the circle, but, like, you'll probably not die. So I guess what I'm trying to say. But yeah, that was some... I'm glad I had my feelers out. I'm glad I was very observant about what was around me and who was around me. Because they were coming for me. I mean, I didn't count how many mass driver shots they took at me. But if you look right now, I'm going to pause the game for a second. Back to the claim that I put down. Look how many ships are around here. We got... I think that's the one I blew up. We got this one, which is the Galfed ship. This one, which was the one that was actively hunting me. This one, that was the other pirate ship I took out. This one, which is the other Galfed ship in the area. And then the gunboat up here, maybe. Yep, the gunboat up here. There were a hell of a lot of people in that tight neighborhood. So I'm very happy to have gotten the hell out when I did. I feel like that was the first, like, real ship-to-ship combat. I kind of feel like Hunt for Red October right now or something, where I'm, like, going stealth. I mean, maybe not really, but it's how it low-key feels. It was spicy, and I liked it. I liked the spice. Alright, so I've killed about half of my cross velocity. We started at about 5, and I'm at, like, 2.5 now. The difference between me and, Port Mojave, or Calico Station. Any chance to hit a random ship in the vicinity? I don't see any radar signatures that would indicate that there is one. I'm not going to say there isn't, because, you know, realistically in this game, I don't know if the NPCs ever do this, but, like, most of my sensors relies upon infrared, electromagnetic, and optical, and only once I get, like, a hit, I can find them with my radar and LiDAR. So, what I'm trying to say is I don't think the NPC ships try to go dark, but I think it's a... I don't even know if it's a valid strategy. It might not work against NPCs, but, like, realistically, if I went dark and, like, turned off my transponder and powered everything down, like, I don't really see how I could be found. Right? It would be pretty easy to just, like, power everything down and pretend you're not a ship anymore. Pretend you're just another asteroid. Alright, so you are Galfed. Friendly miner. What's weird is, you're mining an asteroid I mined, dude. This asteroid has a name because I've, like, been there, done that. Super strange that he's, like, chilling on an asteroid I've cleared. Alright. Probably most of my cross velocity to Port Mojave is gone. Yes. So now what I'm gonna do is slow down a little bit, because I'm, like, honestly going too fast. So I'm gonna just burn in the opposite direction, because 6 kilometers a second is crazy fast. So I'm just gonna use my torch burn to slow down relative, and then do some minor steering to avoid crashing on my way there. There are heat sensors. True. It would be very difficult to hide my own body heat, but As far as I could tell, in-game, the IR sensors are some of the least, that have the worst range of all the sensors. Like, a LiDAR and radar are great range. Optics is, like, pretty decent range. EM and, is pretty good range. But infrared is not. So yeah, it would be difficult for me to hide my infrared signature. So that much is true. However, if you, like... I mean, not that the game gets this complicated, but, like, there are ways to potentially do it, obviously, in real life. You know, you can reflect IR. You could insulate the interior cabin from heat so that you don't dump a heat signature. You could hide inside an asteroid where you are just going to be detected as, like, background temperature. You know, there's lots of ways to do it. Or alternatively, you could have IR flares. You could have a flare that looks like the heat signature of crew or people or ships. You know, where you jam it that way too. But I don't think ship-to-ship combat gets that complicated, so it's moot. I just wanted to, you know, it'd be cool if it was that deep. Unfortunately, all these asteroids around me are unclaimed, but, like, and I do have beacons to potentially claim them, but I have too much speed at the moment. So I'm gonna cut my my deceleration. We're now moving at 2.4 kilometers a second to Port Mojave, and I believe this gray line is my intercept course. So I'm going to adjust it a little bit more so that I'm, like, going to Port Mojave. But it only required a tiny bit of readjustment. And I'm sure I'll have to, like, do it again and again. Alright. So now that we're out of the worst of it, I'm going to kill the panic lights. I'm going to keep moving at 1x speed just to sort of poke around to see what's going on over here. So there's another... I think this is a ship I destroyed. This is the warboat, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, actually, with 30 reactors, this might be another belt pirate arriving at the scene. And it looks like there's other... Oh, they're firing. Yeah, this is a war zone. I don't know exactly what's going on, but obviously there's some sort of... There's a showdown between sides over here. I wish I had cameras there. 30 reactors? No, that's 30 thrusters plus a reactor. For reference, that's the type of boat that missile blew me out of the water last stream. The one, the pirate belter boat that crushed me, essentially. And I lost signature here, but they're obviously launching from this spot. And they're probably coming to reclaim this area. Because I threw a land claim down, like, smack dab in the middle of the war zone. And everyone showed up and were like, oh, hell no. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm leaving. Yeah, 2.4 kilometers a second. I am moving super fast. Yes, that I know. I was actually moving at 6 not too long ago. So I'm trying to watch. My land claim beacon is gone. Like, they shot it or whatever. So maybe that's the first thing that salvo from that pirate did, I assume. But I'm really curious as to what ends up turning out there. I don't think, whatever it is, I don't think Galfed's gonna win, because Galfed essentially had no presence in that fight. It was just Ceres extraction with that warboat. And then what I assume is belt pirates with the new one. Daydor, thank you for the resub. And Red Panda 2, if I missed it. And Crimson. Cheers. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the war zone. Alright, now that I'm like out of it, I'm gonna start, Whoa! I'm assuming you're friendly. Oh! Here's a Galfed ship. It looks like a warboat. Possibly responding to what's going on in there. It does seem like it's on the correct trajectory to intervene. Yeah, it's on some sort of intercept path. Hey, Galfed, I'm so happy that you are joining in on the fight I started. Yes, I am going crazy fast to be inside of an asteroid field. True. But I'm going to try to be extra attentive in that I do not collide with anything. So this blue line is my like future path. And when I see it intercept the core of an asteroid area, I'll do a course correction. I've been greeted by an enemy recently. So I think this is just like, this is a mood thing of probably security. Basically, as you can see, all of my social needs are like way out of whack. Because I've been stressed like crazy in game. But, that is like the fading effects of I was recently in a dogfight. Oh, yep, this guy is moving at 21. So this is what I'm referring to here. They don't abide by any laws of physics I know. He just accelerated at like 2 kilometers a second of active acceleration, which I don't know how many G-forces that is, but it's like something stupid. And then just what, stopped or something? I don't even know what he's doing. It's nuts. And that's exactly what I'm referring to is what they need to fix before the bounty system, you know, gets kicked in, because that ship zoomed past me and then zoomed away like it was some sort of like alien UFO, you know? It's not, they don't play by the laws of physics that I am required to, which is essentially unfair. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I meant for you to... Actually, let's refresh the ammo stack. I meant for you to drink. And Ascendancy, thank you for the raid as well. Welcome, welcome. You just missed the big action. I was just in like a ship dogfight and came out... What, chat? Would you say I came out victorious? I mean, I splashed 2 pirates. Really, I splashed 1 pirate, let's say, and then like looted and scooted. But I feel pretty good about that. All right, I'm gonna need to make a course correction because I'm gonna hit this this cluster here. There we go. So I'm no longer gonna hit that cluster of asteroids, and then once I'm past it, I will do a subsequently opposite course reaction to come back to intercept on Ceres. There we go. So far, so good. That person did like 200 something G's. Okay. I mean, you know, it's exactly what I was saying is the problem. Oh, look, this is G6s. It's not Jesus, but it's awfully close. At least I'm happy that I'm like in Galfed territory again. I feel a little bit safer. Alright, let's select Beeser. I'm almost through all the asteroids that are between me and Port Mojave. So we're almost through the thick of the densest asteroid belts. Because, right, there's almost no asteroids between me and Calico now. So, course correct. Okay, there we go. And at this point, we're just waiting to get closer. I don't think that really any of these ships out here on this side of the belt are going to be hostile. I think it's very unreasonable that any of these guys are going to be Ceres boats, because they'd be way out of place, like a fish out of water. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'm just going to accelerate time. Now that I know that there's a little bit of like R&R, let's go and remember a better love life. Remember family, yada 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 yada. Not be crazy. I will still actively try to fix the whole love life thing. And I also know that there's a lot of things on the boat still that I need to restore and repair. But I can do that once I'm, like, docked with Port Mojave. It'll be a little safer. Okay, so most of my, like, psychological needs are met-ish. And I'm going to need to burn a lot of my momentum, or velocity, rather, my delta V, before I hit the orange zone, which is the no-wake zone, because I don't have a lot of nitrogen gas to do micro-adjustments. I have enough nitrogen gas. I do actually have enough nitrogen gas to land on Beeser the way it is, but, like, because I have 4 kilometers per second delta V in thruster gas. But I'd rather not, like, use up all of my nitrogen, because that will prevent me from being able to do, like, fine-tune, you know, adjustments or anything. So I'm gonna slow the hell down from Beeser here. So now I'm only moving relative, like, 400 meters a second. Something like that. Little slower. The other thing is, because it's a moving target, I'm going to want to accelerate a bit this way to intercept where it will be, not where it is. So I'm going to, it looks like I'm going to overshoot it with my cross velocity, but that's not what it is. It's, the Ceres base is a surface base on Ceres, which is like orbiting, or you know, not orbiting, but rotating. Okay, I'm in the no-wake zone, so my any course corrections have to be on thruster power. I still do have an N2 bottle somewhere, yeah, and I can keep more N2 as well. Now that I'm back in Galfed territory, let's mark the other Galfed ships that are here. Oh, aren't you bally? Oh, look at that. Coalition of Ceres extraction? I was wrong. There is a hostile amongst us. Surprisingly. If they're still here by the time I'm, like, done with my stuff, I might modify their fate. If you catch my drift. Because, like, what are you even doing here? That's insane. You're coming to port? Okay. I don't know. Maybe I won't. They're just minors. I have a little bit of sympathy for them, at least. The police and the pirates, less so. Oh, look at you. Spinning. So you can see overshooting it, we're actually going to align way better. You know, think of it as like, it's not aero braking, but it's like, you know, whatever. It's predicting where it'll be. Alright, now that I'm only 20 kilometers up, let's do some deceleration. Oh, you know what? Because I'm on thrusters, I can point at it. I don't need to point away like I'm under reactor thrust. That doesn't really make sense. Let's get a little bit closer and do another deceleration burn. Kill a lot of the cross velocity now that I'm so close, because we don't need to overshoot it that much. And now that we're within 5 kilometers, I'm gonna get down to like 70 meters per second before trying to contact docking, because I don't need to be slamming into this thing at murder me, murder them. No, no thanks. Okay, docking time. We're gonna hit the primary dock. And then, before I do anything else, it's gonna be a lot of restoration of the parts on this ship so that it can get full resale value, or like full as possible resale value. Obviously, it's gonna be a little tricky to get full resale because these components are not needed in this war zone, essentially. Alright, because I know I'm going to be restoring stuff, I'm going to actually mute my proximity alarm and do my absolute best to remember that I've muted it, which historically I'm really bad at. So I suppose what that means is I'm relying on you guys to remind me that I don't have a proximity alarm active right now. Okay. I think the best way to probably do this is the damage visor. And we've got a sensor. Yeah, we got stuff. I'll start at the back and work my way up. I'm also going to need to adjust the sail zone, because I know basically none of my reactor bay is part of the bartering zone. I really need to bin hole bolts. You're not wrong. Loose bullets all over the deck. Like, doesn't make a lot of sense. I know. Having like a bin, I'm not really sure where it would be, but a bin somewhere, I don't know. Well, I'll work that out. Nice putting. Well, thank you. It's not my first rodeo, but I am happy to make it home after some honest to goodness ship engagement. I mean, up until now, either I've been shooting at stuff or stuff has been shooting at me, but rarely I am shooting and they're shooting both. Like, there hasn't been a lot of times where I'm actively dogfighting, and this was definitely my first dogfight, and it went pretty well. I do wish that I didn't have to fully disable the what did I grab? Oh, you're fixing the katana. I do wish I didn't have to fully like smash up that pirate boat that I tussled with to the point where like it had nothing left. But you know, whatever. Repairing conduit stacks. Okay, sure. So all of the 5 conduits in the stack are all getting restored, which is fine. I mean, that's how we want it, so I'm not going to stop that. We have a lot of PDAs to unlock? I actually don't think we do. We've unlocked all these PDAs. We just have a lot of PDAs to sell. I went through all of them. The 2 last pirates I looted didn't even have PDAs. I think I basically just shot them to death and blew up their PDAs, as far as I could tell. Because I turned on the price overlay. Well, actually, with that said, excuse me. With that said, the price overlay, if I had damaged their PDA, wouldn't show, like, the value of the PDA is really low. Now that I think about it, it's the cartridges in them that are really valuable. So it's quite possible that the PDAs did spill out and I didn't catch it, because they wouldn't have glowed under the price fizz, because the PDAs themselves aren't really worth much. What did I just repair? Oh, the gun? Okay, let's not do that. Right, I'm gonna turn on the damage overlay again, and then, reassess. I don't need to polish up a gun. It's not gonna sell for a lot anyway. So, as far as I can tell, this Hydra is the only thing that needs restoration. Done. Okay. The station still has pressure and temperature, as far as I can tell. Do I need supplies? Well, let's check the kiosk at the very least. So, I would like to start investing in ablative hull cladding and installing it when I can, but now might not be the time for that. Plus, I would have to significantly modify where I have everything installed. Like, ideally, I want cladding around the core of my ship here, because that's the most sensitive parts where I live. Because if anything punches out my nav station, I mean, I can try to use spare parts to repair the nav station, but I'm basically floating dead in the water. So as much as I'd like to cover my reactor and stuff, you know, realistically, I don't know if I took a hit from a missile. If I took a hit from like a railgun, it's repairable. If I take a hit from a missile, I'm like kind of done for. Realistically, what is even going on here? Okay. One thing I could do is pick up one of these backpacks and just like fill it with ammo. So here's a drink pouch. And this is my backpack now. Hunter's ammo bag. I'm also, and I'll do my purchases later, but I'm low on food in my fridge. It would be good to re-up. So, I'm getting 2K for LiDAR here. There's nothing Testudo wants, right? No. Okay. So, it really is only the sundries. Mag bag. Exactly. So, let's go ahead. Sell. Weber LiDAR. I would normally, under normal circumstances, be interested to keep LiDAR and radar duplicates. But at this moment, I don't want to do like a shipbuilding overhaul. So I'm going to part with them instead. Because I'm just not interested in investing the kind of time, energy, and effort to install redundant systems. I'll keep the microsatellite beacons because if I'm headed back out to the asteroid belt, I'm going to want some claims. And then I'm going to make sure, and I did check this before, but I'm going to make sure for all these PDAs, they don't have cartridges I would care about. Like modded tier 2 plus or something. And I'm pretty sure I checked each and every one carefully. Also, it's worth noting, I'm selling this for USD, even though I know there's a huge, I'm not getting like market value or anything close to market value. But the reason I'm doing this is I pay fuel costs and oxygen and stuff like that on USD, so I want to pad my bank account so that I can afford to be in the belt. Alright. The one thing I know I didn't do was add or change my barter zone for the reactor area to include all the stuff back there. So this is not the full sale. But I'll do that next. Because there's thrusters and stuff back there. I am very interested once the, like next month, when the 1.0 releases, what this station will change. Like in terms of what it offers. Like if it ends up getting a scrap dealer or something like that, some sort of licensing. I have no idea. But 10K for fuel, and most of that was nitrogen gas, is fine. It's why doing torch drive thrusting is so much more efficient, fuel and cost efficient than you know, running around like thrust burning. I mean, no, don't decorate that. Dang it. Are you really? You went right back to yearning? Before I leave the station, I will endeavor to check its female population for partnership. But let's start filling the ammo bag. So we have a motors bin. I need 2 more motors. Heatsink bin is full. Screens bin is full. Motherboard bin. I need a whole bunch more mobos. So 4 mobos, 2 motors. And then the conduit bin, let's pick up these stacks and like actually put them in, because they're not right now. And I know I could restore the other conduit in there, but like, do that later. So 4 motherboards and 2 motors. Okay. My spare suit is also doesn't have bottles and filters and stuff. Okay, we have extra conduits. I just forget what I put in here. I might not need all of the flasks I have. Wait, what? I don't know why they're different carry weight. I don't think it's about the internal capacity. And then one of the reasons to keep both katanas is if I do succeed in finding a, you know, a companion, having a second katana's, it doesn't make sense to part with it for pennies on the dollar and then then to subsequently need one in the near future. Home zones, barter and haul. I'm just tired of repainting this, so I'm going to include the whole thing as barter and haul. And just, I'll be careful not to sell the things I don't mean to sell, like the walls. So... yeah, that's fine. Alright, Oriana Merritt. You are a female shipbreaker who's 40. And Chiara Sophia Truong. Oh, you're nearly my age. And you are a female shipbreaker. For Reverence Hunter's 26. Well, that's hopeful. They have shifty eyes. They're also ugly. That might even make it easier for me. I don't see that as a bad thing. The other one's middle-aged, well-groomed. I'm not gonna jump at the first person. I mean, that's ridiculous. But what I will do, let's go and sell those thrusters and hydras, and then keep looking. But like, you know, there's some people here. I like how they have like Y2K glasses. Oh god, that was so 79 years ago. In-game. So yeah, as you can see, I have to be a lot careful now that we have like a barter zone that includes basically everything. I have to be pretty careful about not selling anything I intend to keep, because it would be very easy to just do that. Alright. 8 more K. So we're almost broke 200K in finances. One thing I did note is I wanted more food. So I'm going to send this to the barter zone. I hope it doesn't end up in my, like, you know, whatever. So we're going to buy 10 of the curry, prong curry. Sending it over. And yeah, I know I could, I like how there's just an uninstalled battery charger. What? I know I could, obviously buy cheaper food, but I don't really care. All right. The other thing I wanted to do is to take a look at, now that I'm honored with Galfed, take a look at the Mouth's Galfed's kiosk and interact with the kiosk and see what could be on a horizon if we earn more script. Because the only reasonable way... oh, hello. The only reasonable way I would say to like make a decent amount of money is to play the game in that you are mining for profit or whatever. Like there really isn't a better way to make money here in the in Ceres Warzone. There ain't money in kills, sadly. So reputation neutral gives me more microsats. I don't really need more right now. What I might want is more bullets. So we're gonna buy 120 of the less lethals and 90 of the lethals sent to barter zone. At reputation friendly, we get the quill guns and the ammo. I don't need the ammo right now. What I do need probably is more of the... And I didn't know what I was being fired on. Like when the person ramped up their mass driver, I didn't know it was like a missile or not. But probably more decoys. Although for my next step of what I'm doing, I don't think I'm going to be attacked by anything that's going to need decoys. But on a reputation, we do have the chance to buy the Smart Link missile launcher, which allows us to fire on enemies, and then also the PDCs, the Smart Link PDC point defense. But I, of course, do not have the script for that, the company script. So if we want to earn those things, we gotta hit the we gotta hit the shiny asteroids. Don't decoys only work on missiles? Yeah, I was being fired on and I didn't like check if it was missiles or not. So I started firing off my decoys as a preventative measure. One other important thing to note is when it refreshes. So it refreshes in tonight or like just after midnight. Because at the moment they don't have any decoys to be they don't have any decoys sold. And you know, if I want to buy more decoys, I'm gonna need to come back in 8 hours, a little more. Thank you for tuning in to Ostranauts Fire in the Hold, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you in next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow astronauts.